What's up, One Crack News? It's your boy Carcino here. Let's talk about it. Mistakes, right? How many mistakes must people make before they realize something's wrong? Now, Marcellus Williams' case is just an example of how the system works, really. The state of Missouri, they carried out the execution when the U.S. Supreme Court rejected to request to delay the execution. So the DOC said he was pronounced dead about an hour ago. Now, he maintained his innocence in a 1998 stabbing of Felicia Gale in the St. Louis suburbs. And today he was put to death by lethal injection. Now, he's always maintained that he was an innocent man, and people have put together efforts to try to deny all of this execution that's going on by the Supreme Court and the Republican governor, Mike Parsons. Now, Mike Parson was pushing for this execution. And this is the third in Missouri this year. They resumed it. It was gone, but it came back in 1989. So now, among five taking place across a 7-day span, if the remaining three are carried out on schedule, Sonia Sotomayor, who's one of the justices, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and Elena Keegan said they would have granted the request to halt the execution. But people from the Midwest Innocent Project said in a statement after the Supreme Court ruling that Tricia Rojas Bushnell, tonight Missouri will execute an innocent man. The victim's family opposes his execution. Jurors who originally sentenced him to death now oppose his execution. The prosecutor's office that convinced and sentenced him to death has now admitted they were wrong and zealously fought to undo the conviction and save his life. The prosecutor's office that convicted him has admitted that they were wrong, and they still didn't throw this case out. It's 2024. It's not justice, and we must all question any system that allowed that to occur. In 2001, he was faced with execution for the murder of Gale. And in 2015, the Missouri Supreme Court halted execution plans and appointed a special master to review the DNA testing on the handle of the weapon, the butcher knife that was used to stab Gale 43 times, which was logged in her neck. The DNA experts who reviewed the results determined that he was not the source of DNA found on the knife, but the special master sent the case back to the Missouri Supreme Court with a second execution date of 2017. Then hours before he was about to be executed, the then governor, who was Eric Gittens, called it off and appointed a panel of 5 retired judges to investigate the DNA. The board thought that, we gotta we got to do this, but then the election came and Eric Giddens was out and Parson came in and he dissolved it in June of 2023 and never issued its final findings, final report on it, right? So, with new information, DNA evidence, this man has claimed his innocence even well after his conviction. The prosecuting attorney, Wesley Bell, sought to toss out the conviction on numerous grounds, including the results of the DNA testing, the constitutional violations during the whole jury selection process. The night before this hearing was supposed to take place in Bell's office, with the new test results that showed the DNA on the knife handle was consistent, that the prosecutor who worked on Williams' case was a former investigator with the St. Louis County prosecuting attorney's office. That don't smell suspicious. And in that filing, the DNA results confirmed they handled the knife without gloves, contaminating the evidence. With the DNA evidence spoiled, Williams and Bell, the prosecuting attorneys, reached an agreement in which Williams would enter a no contest plea to murder in the first degree with a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. Gale's family indicated they did not support executing Williams, according to the court filings. And in August, a judge signed off on an agreement. But Attorney General Andrew Bailey, who's a Republican, objected to the plea. The state Supreme Court went on to block the plan and ordered a hearing of Williams' claims of innocence, right? During the proceeding last month, the trial attorney who tried the 2001 case said that he removed one black prospective juror off because he looked like Williams. So because of one black man on the jury resembled another black man, you removed him from the jury. So whenever they asked him, did you strike him because of his race? Keith Larner said, oh, no, absolutely no, according to the court records. So the jury, composed of 11 white people and one black person, was fair. The prosecutor also acknowledged that he handled the murder weapon without gloves at least 5 times. And it looked like this whole investigation of Gale killing was finished. At the end of the hearing, the St. Louis prosecuting attorney office told the court that it conceded the constitutional error of handling the evidence, and clear and convincing evidence of constitutional errors was presented by the court. Still, on September the 12th, the judge decided that he was going to decline to toss out the case, the conviction, and the sentence. The Missouri Supreme Court, they denied relief. Lawyers had asked the justice to wait until they had another death penalty case with another Oklahoma inmate coming up before tossing out the convictions of concern of fairness in the trial. The ever-present undercurrent of this residual doubt as to Mr. Williams' innocence plagues the case, even after his execution loomed. You see, this is a miscarriage of justice if you've ever seen it. Racism, constitutional errors, all of this came to light. Top officials in Missouri opposed the request to call off the execution, claiming that Williams had engaged in a strategy of extreme delay in bringing the claims of accusing him of attempting to manufacture another emergency through his tactics. The state of Missouri claimed, crimes victims for whom the case goes on for decades without resolution, and the criminal justice systems. All of this gets harmed. They said that Williams broke into her home, a suburb of St. Louis in University City, and while in her home, that's where all of this occurred. So it's pretty crazy to me that this man broke into her home in University City after hearing water running in the shower upstairs. He found a butcher knife and waited. After Gail came downstairs, Williams attacked and stabbed her 43 times, left with her purse and husband's laptop. Williams also took a jacket that he used to conceal the blood on his shirt. His girlfriend later noticed. This is what the prosecutor said, that he was wearing a jacket despite being summer weather. And after he removed it, saw that Williams' shirt was bloody, according to the court findings. The girlfriend also testified that she saw the laptop in the car and the purse in the trunk, and claimed Williams confessed to killing Gail. Roughly 10 months after Gail's death and her family ordered reward money, a man named Henry Cole, who was a cellmate with Williams, was in the jail on unrelated charges, claims that that man confessed to murdering Gail. Now, I don't know who this, girlfriend that he was dating at the time was, or how it was handled, why it was handled in the way it was. But here's the problem I know with this era in the show me state, in all of these states, period. They would rather execute you than to try to search for justice, because it does not benefit them to free you, because they're looking at it from a whole different perspective. Their perspective is, this man's going to get out and sue us, and the town's going to lose millions of dollars, millions, for all the years he's been in prison. Now, all these years that we know that we manufactured this case to lock this man up and keep him locked up based on whatever racial bias we wanted, we let this man out now. We're done for. Now everybody's going to start coming forward, and everybody's going to start suing, because they got a lot of cases that's like Marcellus Williams, where there was racism involved, tampering of evidence, or manufacturing it, fake witnesses, bringing people over, constitutional violations. And it puts us in a box of where we are right now. So for me, it's extremely alarming. When I see that and gotta say, wow, okay, I get it now. I get it. This is what they expect of us. And this is why you can never be too comfortable in your situations, because they can often turn into these situations. Death before dishonor. So his death didn't go in vain, but this is what elections are for. You get these people out of office who are in the way of progress. Somebody voted that demon into the office because they wanted him there. We all know what's going on. We all know the stories. We all know the present and the past. Now, when people are doing things correctly, yes. But when they're not doing it correctly, then they have a problem. So on that note, you see what the problem is. You see the people you can control, Missouri, because I can't vote in Missouri, but you guys certainly can. If anybody's listening to me from Missouri, you know how to get these devils out of office. You have to activate it and said, okay, look, this got to change. We got to vote these judges out. We got to vote these governors out. We have to vote these branches that's dealing with in government, the three major branches. We're always looking at that executive branch. Let's get to these other branches that are tearing us down. That's what we need to focus on. So thank you for your time. Hopefully you liked the video. Share the video. Subscribe to the page. You want to support the page, my Cash App is Carceno, Karceno, or you could just super chat it. But anytime, appreciate you just for coming by.